All right, we got 12 games today in the National Basketball Association. We're going to be predicting every single one of them like we've been doing all year long this year with the NBA. And before we get into the predictions, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA content here on the channel. Earlier today, we posted our college basketball best bets for, of course, this Friday slate. And if we get 130 likes on that video, we are going to post 10 best bets for that huge Saturday slate tomorrow on the 1st of March. So make sure to leave a like on this video and that video as well with the college basketball content here in the channel. And also make sure to go check out our UFC Fight Night Cop versus Almabayev predictions in the UFC Apex this Saturday is the final MMA and UFC video here on Greedo Plays, because we are going to Greedo Plays MMA starting on March 2nd for our UFC 313 predictions with Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev in the main event. So make sure to subscribe on that channel. Make sure to subscribe on this channel as we get into the first of our 12 games today. We start things off here in Detroit, Michigan with the Detroit Pistons and the Denver Nuggets. I like Detroit here, right? I like Detroit in this spot. Denver's coming off a loss yesterday to the Milwaukee Bucks in a game that honestly I thought Denver was going to win. The Bucks ended up finding a way to get that one done. Good on Milwaukee. I said it yesterday. I thought the Nuggets were going to win that game yesterday against Milwaukee, then lose today against Detroit. Well, now I just think they lose both games. I think Detroit right now at home can beat Denver fairly easily. Detroit's coming off back-to-back home victories against good teams, the Los Angeles Clippers and the Boston Celtics. Detroit is fairly healthy. Asar Thompson, I believe... Wait, it was Asar got hurt last game, I think, right? It wasn't a men, it was Asar. I'm not gonna lie, I do get the Thompsons mixed up sometimes. But yeah, no, Asar Thompson, I believe, got injured in their last game. He's fine. Dennis Schroeder, probable. Detroit's gonna be all right. Again, Jaden Ivey's still injured, but the Pistons are fairly healthy for this game. For the Denver Nuggets, I mean, this squad, again, coming off the second half of a back-to-back, they don't play defense. Detroit should be able to score at will in this basketball game. And yeah, I like Detroit a lot in this spot. Again, I don't think Denver's as good as a lot of people think they are. Yeah, Jokic is great. Jokic is going to finish second place in the MVP voting this year. He's a great player. He can move the ball around. Obviously, he facilitates this offense. But guys, there's a chance the Denver Nuggets, after this game today against the Detroit Pistons, will find themselves in fourth place in the Western Conference. And yes, there's a chance if the Lakers win today, the Los Angeles Lakers jump them in the standings. Wow. It can happen today. And I think Denver loses the second half of a back-to-back here in Detroit. Cade Cunningham obviously has been a production machine all year long for the Detroit Pistons. He scores, he passes, he plays defense. He was an all-star for a reason this season. And I like the Detroit Pistons to win this game at home. And, I mean, they're 1.5 point favorites, so they'll cover, I guess, as well. But I like Detroit at home to beat the Denver Nuggets. We go on to our second game of the day, and we go to Atlanta, Georgia, for the Atlanta Hawks and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, normally we always take the Atlanta Hawks. Here's our exception. We're taking the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, they didn't look great in their last game. They won, which again, it's crazy the expectation the Thunder have now, obviously, with the team as young as OKC, led by a 26-year-old superstar. But regardless, they beat Brooklyn by 8 points on the road. That's a team that's borderline playing, and I get it. The playing in the Eastern Conference is horrible with the Chicago Bulls being there. And again, trust me, we'll get to the Bulls later in this video. But OKC, again, that's the expectation this team has. An 8-point win over a team on the road, cross country, is just it's a poor performance. Shea with 27, that feels like a low night for him, obviously, a low scoring night. Which again is crazy for a guy who's averaging, one of the highest point totals per game in the history of the league, or in the last 25 years, or the last century, turn of the century. Anyways, OKC's great. We know that. They're 47-11. I like Atlanta a lot. I pick the Hawks a lot. Even when they are big dogs, I will take Atlanta to cover most of the time because they are very competitive because of the way they're able to score and because of Trae Young. Unfortunately for Atlanta, OKC is their nightmare matchup. Now, in all fairness, OKC is pretty much everybody's nightmare matchup. Hell, even you look at the reigning defending champions in the Boston Celtics, this is the nightmare matchup. It is OKC. But especially for the Hawks, though. They're a team that can score. They don't really play defense, but how do they win? They outscore you and they get into shootouts. You can't beat OKC in a shootout because it's physically impossible because of the way they're able to shut you down on that side of the ball. It's going to be so difficult for Atlanta to score on OKC, and I just don't see how the Hawks win this basketball game. Guys, I love Trae Young, but Trae is no help. And in a game like this, when Trae Young is going to be matched up with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, at least again, on that side, when Atlanta's on offense, Trae's going to have to get by and make room and, create for separation against Shai. Obviously, we expect Dyson Daniels to probably be on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander when, obviously, OKC's trying to score. But regardless, it just makes it really tough in Atlanta because, yes, Dyson Daniels is a really good defender. He's not the best offensive guy. Onyeka Okongwu's good, but you're not relying on him to score either. Zachary Sachet, we're not relying on any of these guys to score for Atlanta. Again, it all starts with that Shai and Trae matchup. We expect Shai to be on Trae. How the hell are the Hawks going to score? Trae doesn't have Jalen Johnson anymore. He doesn't have DeAndre Hunter. It should be a blowout. For as much as I like the Hawks, the Thunder are probably going to blow this team out. And oh, by the way, yeah, the Thunder can keep up and score with you like an Atlanta can. Obviously, again, though, the big difference in this basketball game is the defense that is played by the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that's what makes them so dangerous. Give me the OKC Thunder to go on the road to Atlanta, Georgia, and blow out the Hawks. I think they're going to cover the 12.5 points and obviously win outright as minus 800 favorites as well. Give me OKC on the road in Atlanta. We go on to our third game of the video, and we go to Boston, Massachusetts, to the Boston Garden for the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Hear me out. I'm taking Cleveland on the road. Yeah, I think the Cavs are playing better ball right now, as obviously their record states, and it's been apparent. They've not lost since the All-Star break. They have won 4 games in a row now. Boston's coming off a loss in Detroit a couple nights ago. Again, the team with momentum is Cleveland. Don't get me wrong. Boston's still, spectacular. They're still one of the best teams in the NBA. Are we really going with Jason Tatum's nickname as the Anomaly now? Is that really his nickname? I'm gonna refuse to call him that. But the Cavaliers, again, are very good. The DeAndre Hunter move has made them even better. They have not lost with DeAndre Hunter yet. And I get it. They've played, Boston and Cleveland played 3 times this year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they played 3 times already this year. And it's 1-2, right? It is what it is. Cleveland's only beat them in Ohio. The other 2 games, one was in Ohio, one was in Boston. Again, Boston, obviously it was won once in Boston and one in Cleveland. I think Cleveland evens up the season series here, though. I think they do. Again, if Donovan Mitchell can find a way to get the Cleveland Cavaliers into the NBA Finals and potentially win the NBA Finals, we're going to have to start having some conversations about Donovan Mitchell being in the all-time talks. Again, I'm not going to say top 10, top 20 all-time talks, but now Donovan Mitchell, again, if Donovan Mitchell puts the Cavaliers and wins the Cavaliers the championship this year, we have to start talking about Donovan Mitchell like he's like he is a Hall of Fame player. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Again, that's very far-fetched still. For as good as Cleveland is, do we expect them to get out the East? Personally, no. I don't think they are going to, right? If I had to guess right now, I'd still say Boston probably gets in. But again, that changes every day for me. Again, sometimes I think Cleveland's better than Boston. Sometimes I don't, right? Again, we will see in a 7-game series. But in this one individual spot, yes, I'm going to take Cleveland. Again, when we look at a matchup like this with 2 very good teams and obviously the 2 best teams in the East, its momentum is absolutely huge, and also injuries are huge as well. Cleveland's fairly healthy going into this game. Boston is dealing with Jaylen Brown being questionable with a thigh injury and Drew Holiday being questionable with a finger injury. Now, will Brown and Holiday play? Possibly. On top of that, Luke Cornett is also questionable for this game too, due to personal reasons. But again, do we expect Brown and Holiday to play? Probably. But still, there is an injury factor on the side of Boston, and Cleveland again has not lost since acquiring DeAndre Hunter. I get it, Boston won their last matchup, but Cleveland's playing great ball right now. They are able to outscore you. And Boston, again, still does have nights like they did in Detroit where they feel like they just can't get going. Tatum had 27 in that game, but really there was no help around him. And again, they went to Detroit and ended up losing the game by 20 points, right? They will have those nights. They had that night in Toronto where sure they win by 10, but they just felt sluggish in that game. That's kind of how the Celtics have been all year long. Again, credit that to, again, them being cold coming off winning the championship, and I'm saying that about a team that's 42-17, but still, I don't know. I think, again, in this particular spot, I will take Cleveland. We will see what we get once we get to the postseason, but give me, in this one on ESPN, the Cavs and Donovan Mitchell to go on the road to Boston and take down the Boston Celtics at plus money. We go on to our 4th game of the video, and we move to Brooklyn, New York. As we've got the Portland Trail Blazers taking on the Brooklyn Nets, I am taking the Blazers on the road, and this is going to be the day personally where I think the Bulls get separation at the 10 seed. Again, we will get to Chicago's game later on, where they're taking on the Toronto Raptors, but in this one between Portland and Brooklyn, I'm taking the Blazers on the road. I think the Blazers are better than Brooklyn right now. I don't think that's a hot take at all. I did jump on the Nets a little bit, when they were going to Washington, when they had a chance to potentially tie the Chicago Bulls for the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs, and obviously to get that final play-in spot. But then they went to Washington and lost. I'm completely off this team. I get it. They played a very competitive game against OKC, and they are getting their guys back. Okay, that's huge. I believe Cam Thomas is supposed to be back today. Yes, Cam Thomas is back. Cameron Johnson is playing. Noah Clowney's still out for a while, and then D'Angelo Russell's still out for this game. So again, they get their borderline all-star guy back. Again, Cam Thomas at the beginning of the season was huge for Brooklyn. They had some huge games. Again, the game I always remember is when Brooklyn was a 14.5-point dog going into Phoenix, Arizona to take on the Suns, and they beat Phoenix on the road because of a huge night out of Cam Thomas. And I get it. Now beating Phoenix is not the feat that it was back then when the Suns were arguably, playing like one of the better teams in the game. Obviously, very early in the year when they were like 8-3. But still, Brooklyn has that potential to upset you. And obviously, they gave OKC a run for their money the other night. Obviously, and Shea and the Thunder just found a way to win that game. I do think they're going to continue to get better now. The problem is, again, first game back for Cam Thomas in a couple months. That's going to be a little bit tough, or about a month, I believe. That's going to be rough for them to win his first game back. And the way Portland's been playing as well, that just doesn't add up to much success. Again, Portland, we've said this before, but the Blazers beat the bad teams. They do. They will give the good teams a run for their money, but the teams that, again, are just, I'm not going to say Portland's low level, but the teams that are low level in the league, Portland does find ways to win. And that's been apparent in their last 3 games. They beat the Hornets 141-88. They beat Utah by 2 points on the road. Good win. They go to Washington and find a way to win by 8 points. That's something Brooklyn couldn't do, right? Shaedon Sharpe, really good in that Washington game. He drops 36. Normally it is Anfernee Simons who leads the charge in terms of scoring, but Deni Adjiva has been really good as well. This has been Adjiva's breakout year this season for the Blazers. This team's 7 games under 500. Do we expect them to make a run in the play-in? Likely not, but they do find themselves only 4 games back of the Sacramento Kings with the 10th seed. Again, Phoenix is 1 game higher than them, but I'm not expecting Phoenix to go anywhere. Personally, I don't think the Blazers are going to catch up to the Kings, but regardless, it is what it is, right? As much as I want to see the Suns in the play-in, we'll get to them in the Pelicans in a little bit, but my goodness, after yesterday, there's no way I can say the Suns are going to make a run at all. And not even like a championship run. Obviously, that's been long gone. I'm saying a run to the play-in. They're cooked, okay? I'm going to take Portland to beat Brooklyn. Again, I think the Nets are going to continue to kind of hang around in the play-in just because, again, they are getting Cam Thomas back, and Thomas, when he is on, is a great basketball player. But in a spot like this, I'm going to take Portland, who's been playing very well, honestly, just in the calendar year 2025. Give me the Blazers to go on the road to the Barclays Center and beat the Brooklyn Nets. We go on to our 5th game of the video, and we move to Miami, Florida for the Miami Heat and the Indiana Pacers. It is no secret, I am big on the Indiana Pacers. Oh, there's only 10 games today, not 6. Oh. Or sorry, no, not 10. 12, I meant. Oh, I thought there was 12 games today. It's only 10. Anyways, we go to Miami, Florida for the Indiana Pacers and the Miami Heat. Give me Indiana. Right, last time we saw these two squads, I believe it was Jimmy Butler's last game as a member of the Heatles, if I'm not mistaken. I think. Was January? No, he came back. It was before one of the suspensions. Regardless, last time we saw these two teams January 2nd, Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers go on the road. Halliburton drops 33 and 15. They beat the Heat by 13 points. Okay? Guys, the Pacers are so back. They were able to remain afloat and find a way to the 4 seed in the Eastern Conference when Tyrese Halliburton was playing nowhere near his best ball of the season. At all. Or of his career. Tyrese Halliburton's so back. In the games since the All-Star break, Tyrese Halliburton has led the Pacers in scoring in 3 of those 4 games, and obviously he's led them in assists like he does every single night in all those games as well. But again, listen to Tyrese's stats post All-Star break. Memphis, 22-9. Clippers, 29-12. Denver lost 19-15. Raptors win 33-11. I keep saying, again, the key to this team is Tyrese Halliburton. Yes, Siakam's great. We know Siakam's an all-star. But the face of the franchise in Indianapolis, Indiana, is obviously, again, Tyrese Halliburton. And he's found a way to get it going. I'm telling you guys again, he is the Chris Paul of this era. He is. I don't know if he's going to have the same impact that Chris Paul had. Obviously, Chris Paul was a monster in New Orleans for the Hornets, now Pelicans. But Tyrese, again, I think he is the CP3 of this era. I think he's going to be. Okay, I still think Tyrese is going to be, I don't know if I want to say generational, but that's what Chris Paul is. Sure, I'll say it. I still think Tyrese Halliburton can be a generational type player. I think he can be, right? Sure, he missed the All-Star game this year, but he's going to be a perennial All-Star for the rest of his career. And he's going to continue to have Indiana in the postseason every single season as well. I think Indiana beats Miami here. The Heat are coming off a victory over the Atlanta Hawks. I don't care. This team's still ice cold. I don't care. The game is in Miami. This team's still not very good. Okay. They're starting Davion Mitchell now, which is interesting. They've got a lot of guys who are questionable or injured. Obviously, Jovic is out with a fractured right hand, so he's out for the foreseeable future. Bam Adebayo questionable for this game with an ankle injury. Same can be said about Andrew Wiggins. Same injury, same status, ankle, and questionable. Even if they had Wiggins and Adebayo, the Pacers are the better basketball team. Don't care the game's in Miami. The Heat don't get the biggest home court advantage. Let's just be honest with ourselves. And the Pacers are good. They're really good. Right, I've been saying it all year long how good this team is. They're going to find a way to win this game. The line is 3.5. I expect Indiana to easily cover that. Again, I still think this team has the third best odds of getting out the Eastern Conference. We'll see. But again, when Tyrese Halliburton is playing on the level that he has been since the All-Star break, it makes this team much more dangerous. Again, they were able to survive with Tyrese, scoring 0 points in a game. Now he's back scoring and averaging 25. Oh, yeah, Indiana's a problem. And again, they're a problem to the Celtics and the Cavaliers as well. Don't forget, Game 1 last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, Indiana should have gotten the road. If they went and beat Boston on the road last season, I'm just saying that changes that entire series. I'm not telling you the Pacers were going to win the championship, but still, this team is more than capable. Give me Indiana. And don't forget who beat the Knicks in the playoffs last year. Indiana on the road to beat the Miami Heat and cover the 3.5 points as well. We move on to our next one. Hey, I'm wearing the jersey. This is actually a Lonzo Ball Chicago Bulls jersey. And Lonzo's great. But the story of the Chicago Bulls post-All-Star break and post-Zach LaVine era has been Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey is the man now in Chicago, right? He's been playing phenomenal ball. Josh Giddey with 12 assists in their last game against the Los Angeles Clippers. A game where, hey, they covered. We told you they were going to cover against Los Angeles. Good call there, obviously. And yeah, they've won one game since the All-Star break. But I do think this team is going to find ways to win. The problem is their schedule is so difficult. Oh my goodness. Don't get me wrong. I really like Chicago tonight. I think they beat Toronto. The Raptors are kind of injured. I don't know if Scotty's going to play tonight. Scotty Barnes questionable with the hip injury. Jakob Poeltl's obviously back now. But I do like Chicago at home here. 1, they are at home. 2, Josh Giddey's been playing phenomenal ball. Again, Giddey has been this team's best player post-Zach LaVine. I get it, Vucevic has been hurt, but I mean, Josh Giddey, since the Zach LaVine trade, has put up 20 points, or post the All-Star break. 27 against the Knicks, 24 against Phoenix, 25 against Philadelphia, 21 against the Clippers. And on top of that, this guy is posting double-digit rebounds and assists. He's been playing really well. I mean, you can't hate on Josh Giddey right now. He's playing phenomenal ball for the Chicago Bulls, and when this team starts winning some games, he's going to keep them afloat. The problem with the Bulls is look at their schedule coming up. Toronto, all right, in Indiana, Cleveland, at Orlando, at Miami, Pacers, Brooklyn, in Houston, in Utah, in Phoenix, in Sacramento, in Los Angeles against the Lakers, in Denver, home against the Lakers, home against the Mavs, in OKC. My goodness, they close out the year with somewhat of a favorable schedule, but the Bulls are going through the ringer right now. The problem, again, with this play-in is that they're only 1.5 games up with the Nets. Now, we do think the Nets are going to lose this game as well, but you know who this kind of lets back into things? And it's a huge game, honestly. I don't know if the Raptors are trying to make the play-in because, we're trying to play capture the flag here, but if the Raptors are going to win this game, they're only 4 games out. And the Raptors, their schedule's a lot more favorable than the Bulls is. Just hear me out. In Chicago, in Orlando, Utah, Washington, Philly, Utah, Portland, Phoenix. Golden State, San Antonio, Washington, Brooklyn, Charlotte, Philly, Bulls, Portland, Denver, Brooklyn, Charlotte, Dallas, San Antonio. I don't know if the Raptors can make that push, but if they get Brandon Ingram back, I don't know. Again, are we scared? Would anybody be scared of the Raptors in the play-in? No. They are 23 games under 500. But this is what we're looking at now. That a team that is 23 games under 500, we're saying, maybe could actually make a play-in push. Now, do I think the Nets have a better chance of getting in? Yes. The Sixers, yes. But it's a possibility for Toronto, who, again, is 23 games under 500. It's ridiculous. But in this spot, yes, I like the Bulls. I think Josh Giddey finds a way to will his team to victory. Vucevic is back, I think he's back. Oh, he's questionable. Well, if not, he's doubtful. Oh, he's not playing. Okay, well, Zach Collins was actually really good the other night. Zach Collins had 22 points. So I'm going to take the Bulls. Kobe White at the 3. Matas Buzelis obviously has seen this expanded role. Don't mind the Bulls in this spot, minus 125, even with the injuries. We'll see what Toronto's bringing out. I don't even know if Sky is going to play or not. So I like Chicago to get things done. Give me the Bulls at home. Giddey and the Bulls win this game in Chicago. We go on to our next one. We go to Memphis, Tennessee for the Memphis Grizzlies and the New York Knicks. I'm taking Memphis at home. The Knicks, simply put again, are just not built to win big games against good teams. They're injured and they don't have depth. Again, that's why a guy, and I don't know why he hasn't been signed yet. He wants to come back. Why hasn't Victor Oladipo been signed? Can anyone answer me that? He said he wants to play. He said his body's holding up right now. Why wouldn't the Knicks benefit with having a guy in a former multi-time All-Star like Victor Oladipo? I don't know. They should go out and do it. They should really do it. Then maybe I'd actually like the Knicks a little bit more. Now, is Victor Oladipo going to be this team's missing piece to winning a championship this year? No. As much as I like Vic, one of my favorite players of all time, legitimately in my top 3 favorite players ever. See on my wall, Victor Oladipo right there. Is Vic winning this team a championship? No, obviously. But it would help. It would help the depth. Because right now the depth is nothing. And on top of that, the injuries right now are killing them. Now, again, these guys are playing through it, but Josh Hart questionable, Karl-Anthony Towns questionable. Mitchell Robinson, I don't think is making his debut tonight. It looks like Mitchell Robinson's close to coming back, which will help them. But still, they're playing a 7-man rotation. It's just, again, Tom Thibodeau, it's just they're regular season warriors, and then what happens in the playoffs, they're going to lose. And I've been saying it. New York is going to lose in the playoffs this year. I don't know if it's going to come in the second round or the first round. They're not getting the Eastern Conference Finals. It's going to be like last year. They're going to come up just short again. Now, in this spot against Memphis, they will lose to better teams. The Grizzlies are going to get them. And that's been apparent. The Knicks have been playing horrible basketball coming out the All-Star break. Sure, they're 2-2. But an overtime victory against a struggling Bulls team, for as much as we just hyped up the Bulls, the Knicks should get them. They beat them in overtime in the Garden. Back-to-back losses to the 2 elite squads in the East, Cavs and Boston. And then a 5-point victory against the 76ers. Sure, it's good you're winning those games, but a 5-point win over the Sixers right now? Yeah. Play the Paul George anthem. What are we doing, right? The Grizzlies, I like this team. I do. Are they playoff threats? No, I don't think so. They are more of a threat, obviously, than the Rockets are. But they'll beat the Knicks here. They just, again, the all-around better basketball team. They play solid defense, obviously. Ja can get things going. Jaren Jackson can get things going. You look at the spread again. The Grizzlies are 3.5-point favorites, minus 150 at home. I'm fine with the Grizz in the spot. The Knicks, again, have just been very mediocre since the All-Star break. Until they fix that, I'm going to continue to pick against them in big games. So give me the Memphis Grizzlies at home to win and cover against the New York Knicks. We go on now to, I believe, our 8th game of the day. We go to Phoenix, Arizona for the Phoenix Suns and the New Orleans Pelicans. Disappointment is an understatement for the Phoenix Suns. This is ridiculous at this point. You're losing to the New Orleans Pelicans. I don't care the Pelicans are now on a 3-game winning streak. They beat those horrible San Antonio Spurs in back-to-back games. Now, Zion Williamson with his first ever career triple-double in that win the other night against the Phoenix Suns. But again, Phoenix is screwed. They should have gotten rid of Durant at the deadline so we could have actually gotten to watch KD in the postseason, and maybe it would have actually made the Memphis Grizzlies a very viable contender and an actual threat in the Western Conference if they had a guy like KD in that lineup. And no disrespect against the rookie Jalen Wells, but again, would you rather have Jalen Wells in the postseason or Kevin Durant? So instead, Phoenix is going to waste away another year of Durant's career, not even making the play-in this season, and KD's just going to go in the offseason, either again to Memphis potentially if they try a third time to trade for KD, a team like Dallas if they try to pair him with AD and Kyrie. Regardless, maybe even Golden State's got Jimmy now. They're not going to do that. But still, the Suns are stuck. They are stuck this season. Do I think they beat New Orleans here? I guess. I don't really care. The pick's plus 6.5. The pick is New Orleans on the spread. We said they were going to cover yesterday. They ended up winning the game by 8 points. Phoenix doesn't play defense. They are one of the worst defensive teams, if not the worst defensive team in all of basketball. Again, the Pelicans score 124 points in them. Zion had a night, don't get me wrong. Williamson with 27, 10, and 11 on the road. Same spot, same time. Give me New Orleans to cover. I ultimately don't care who wins. I'd hope Phoenix gets it, but again, the Suns are absolutely abysmal. They have lost 7 out their last 8 games, with the only victory being on the road in Chicago by 4 points. D-Book scores 36 last night. they still lose the game by 8 points. They are horrible defensively. I have nothing else to say about the Suns. They're a disappointment. I think the Blazers at this point, legitimately, and this is not a joke, the Portland Trail Blazers right now have a better chance of making the play than the Phoenix Suns do. I'm not big on the Kings. I think the Kings actually now are going to get that 10 spot. And they're going to. But Portland, as we stand right now, I think is better than Phoenix. In a 7-game series right now, the Portland Trail Blazers beat the Phoenix Suns. In turn, Portland has a better chance of getting in the playoffs and the play-in than Phoenix does, because Phoenix won't even be afforded the opportunity because they're that bad defensively. Give me the Pels to cover. I'd hope Phoenix wins, but ultimately we don't care who wins. We have New Orleans spread plus 6.5. Zion had a night last night. Is Zion still in restriction? Is he going to play tonight? Nothing on the injury report yet for Zion. Maybe. Wow. He's an employee of the New Orleans Pelicans. He doesn't play back-to-backs, but maybe he's actually going to play a back-to-back. That sounds a little bit too good to be true. But I hope he plays tonight. Give me the Pels plus 6.5. They're 10 games today. I would stay away from this. The second half of a back-to-back, and they just played yesterday. I'd stay away. But still, if you want to pick, New Orleans plus 6.5 here on the road. Going on to our 9th game of the day, we go to Salt Lake City, Utah. Here's our big underdog of the day. Actually, there might be one more later. The Utah Jazz on the road, at home. Minnesota is dealing with a bunch of injuries. Second night of a back-to-back, and Anthony Edwards got ejected from their last game. Now, I believe that means he's out this game, right? Because it was his 16th technical, so that means he gets a 1-game ban, right? I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Yeah, I'm pretty certain this is how this works. So, Ant shouldn't be playing tonight. Okay, what do the Wolves have without Anthony Edwards? Not much. DiVincenzo's back, great. So Dante will just slide to the 2. They might start Alexander Walker, but I think they'll just go Conley, DiVincenzo, Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, and then probably Luka Garza. Great. I actually think the Jazz beat this team. I think they do. They'll start Jalen Clark probably. Yeah, they'll start Naz at the 5 like they did last night. They'll probably start, Who am I kidding? Luka Garza. Luka Garza doesn't play. He does, but not that much. He'll have to play tonight, though, with a very limited team. Yeah, unless they go 9-man tonight. Now, Terrence Shannon had a night against the Lakers, right? In Ant's absence, Terrence Shannon plays 29 points. He played fairly well. 25 points, obviously. 29 minutes, 25 points. Great, right? The thing is, they're going to lack size tonight. You don't really lack size against the Lakers because they play so small, but the Jazz actually do play pretty big. I mean, Lauri Markkanen is their 3, and he's 7 feet tall. Walker Kessler's huge. He's a great big. I don't think John Collins is playing tonight, right? He's questionable. But still, Markkanen's their 3, and he's 7 feet tall. Now, if Collins doesn't play, you probably slide Markkanen down, and you start Cody Williams or Jordan Clarkson. Oh, Clarkson's going to have to start anyway because no Sexton. Oh, no, they'll keep him on the bench. They start Keontae George and Collier. Still, guys, Utah's sneaky. And the way the Wolves have been playing right now, they have been playing with zero momentum, no Ant, no Julius Randle, no Rudy Gobert. Yikes. Obviously, at full health, they're better than Utah, but I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm taking the 14-win Utah Jazz to win this game at home. Yeah. Second half of a back-to-back from Minnesota. No Ant, no Rudy, no Julius Randle. No victories. Give me Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, Keontae George, and Isaiah Collier of the Utah Jazz to win this game at home at Salt Lake City. They'll win, and they'll find a way again. If they don't win, they'll cover. But I don't mind the money line at all here for Utah. Give me the Jazz at home. And we end things, of course, with the Battle of LA. The Los Angeles Lakers take on the Los Angeles Clippers. It's in the real arena, the only arena in Los Angeles now, the Crypto.com arena. The only team that actually plays in Los Angeles. The Lakers and the Clippers. Now, we'll see who suits up tomorrow for the Lakers at home. Second half of a back-to-back. I know LeBron doesn't want to play this, but he's going to have to, because there's a very good chance Luka Doncic does not play tonight. There's also a very good chance Rui Hachimura does not play. Obviously, Rui left the game yesterday against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I would not expect Hachimura to play tonight for the Lakers, which means DFS probably enters the starting lineup. I'm more than okay with that. The thing is, no Luka will suck. Now, that means probably they just start... Well, now with Rui out, Vando probably starts, right? They could just play huge. No, they'll probably just start. We'll see who they start. Actually, I don't know. They'll probably start Van, though. But they could just start Jordan Goodwin, or they could start Gabe Vincent. Anyways, Luka said himself he's questionable. I really hope Luka plays. Obviously, I don't want to lose to the Clippers. Sucks. But I think of the value plus 150 for the Lakers is great. I don't care they're in a second half of a back-to-back. Braun will play. We'll see if Luka plays, but I love Luka. But for as much as this is going to suck, an AR LeBron team, they can win one game against the Clippers. Now, a 7-game series, okay, obviously we want Luka. But in one game, AR and Braun can get it done, 100%. We've seen it before, and they can do it again. Again, guys, when Austin Reeves needs to score and needs to fill a huge role in this team, he can absolutely do it. Again, guys, LeBron, Luka, and AR last night, all with at least 20 and 5. Again, LeBron, the guy's 40 years old. He puts up 33, 17, and 6 last night against the Timberwolves. It's insane. He's 40 and he's doing this. He's still a top 5 player in the league at 40 years of age. It's insane. Again, this is Tom Brady levels of longevity at this point, obviously, right? Now, if LeBron can win a title like LeBron can win a title like Tom Brady did in his 40s, there's no debate in the GOAT talk if LeBron wins this year, okay? I wasn't around for Michael Jordan, but I can tell you this. LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all. I already think he is, but there's no question if LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time if he wins his 5th championship at 40 years old. Just saying. There's no argument after this year. I think they beat the Clippers. Now, this is the Clippers Super Bowl. It always is. Norman Powell's questionable. I wonder if Norman Powell is going to play tonight. Dante DiVincenzo hadn't played in 2 months, and he randomly came back last night. So actually, didn't think about that. He probably won't play against the Jazz tomorrow. He's probably not playing a back-to-back. Ooh. Oh, so Terrence Shannon's going to start. Anyways. Norman's questionable. I wonder if he plays. Norman Powell's going to play tonight. The Clippers will be at full strength. Kawhi plays half the games, but he'll definitely play tonight. Don't care. Last time the Lakers and the Clippers played, Lakers looked pretty good. In Inglewood, Luka didn't play, obviously. And again, this is what I'm saying. LeBron and AR can beat the Clippers. They've done it before. They can do it again. February 4th, they go to Inglewood. They win the game 122-97. It was a dominant performance. The Lakers led pretty much that entire game. I think they can do it again. Again, it's just an added bonus if Luka does play. But honestly, I like the Lakers at plus money. I get it, second half of back-to-back, but the Lakers, again, are just, I think they're just different right now. And the last time they did have to play the second half of back-to-back, they did lose the first game to the Hornets, but they came back and went to Portland the next night and beat a streaky Trailblazers team. Again, guys, LeBron James is the greatest basketball player to ever play the sport. And it's insane what he's doing at 50 years of age. And he's going to continue to win for this Lakers team, and they're going to win a championship this year as long as the Thunder don't get him. But I think they beat the Clippers here. Yeah, again, Los Angeles is good. They're not as good as they were to start the season. They're still winning games, that's fair. But prior to that, Bulls win on Wednesday, and that game was close. Harden had a big night like he always does. 3 straight losses at the deadline. And I get they were all on the road, but this game's on the road for them too. Loss in Milwaukee, loss in Indiana, loss in Detroit, and now here comes the loss in Los Angeles to the Lakers. Give me LeBron, give me AR, hopefully Luka too, but if not, I do still think LeBron and AR can get it done. We're taking the Los Angeles Lakers to beat the Los Angeles Clippers at home. They are plus 150 dogs. I get it with the uncertainty around Rui, Luka, and the second half of back-to-back. I understand, but I still like the Lakers at plus 150. Dog money at home. We're going to take it. Give me the Lakers to beat the Clippers outright. And folks, thank you all for watching our NBA predictions here for February 28th. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank you all for watching, and Mamba forever.